Lori, can you hear us?
I can hear you guys.
Thank you, Justin.
Well, do you want me to go somewhere else? I can sit somewhere else.
You're all plugged in. Yeah.
Oh, that's really easy. Okay.
Oh, and you can hear papers. Comes Kyle. Okay, I will call the meeting to order at 6:02 PM on August 17th. There was a written notice and the agenda of the public meeting was as stated below. There's an opportunity for public comment as noted on the agenda and upon recognition by the presiding officer. Roll call, Mark, Nina, Pat, me, Teresa, and then Justin and Lori online. And do I have a motion to, can you turn your volume off, Mark? Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
I made the motion for that.
Somebody over here is back there.
Yeah, Mark, I think Mark's trying to get it.
Oh,
And then for discussion, I would like to move the budget down below the volunteers, so maybe after number 2. Any just other discussion? Everybody okay with that? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Yeah, it's Mark.
So how do I turn on?
Just turn off your volume.
Can't find.
You have it.
Okay.
Okay.
It was online, worry.
Justin
Justin.
Cruz.
You should be able to see that.
Yes, hello, that's me.
It's up there.
Oh, up there. Hello.
You're still on over there.
Yeah, we're still echoing.
So you have to go to settings and turn your speakers on.
You good? Okay, so pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, dates of upcoming meeting and events are listed. Do I have a motion to approve the prior meeting minutes from July 20th?
Put your head down. I make the motion to approve the prior meeting minutes.
Is there a second?
Turn your mic up.
I make.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that carries. Okay, any public comment? Okay, monthly status reports, committee meeting updates. I don't think we have anything, anything from the board meeting or anything that's not on the, I think everything's on the agenda. Okay. Ball field updates. Are there any updates on the ball field? Okay. I've been seeing more men out there practicing. Must be. Okay, and then we're gonna do the budget later. So business, discuss volunteer opportunities and set up volunteer dates as needed. Oh, Lori, you're here. Oh, my goodness. Well, hi, Tom. We're just starting the volunteer opportunities for. So should I just start with each park or do you want to just start in general? Is there anything? Let's just do the town hall, volunteer opportunities at the town hall. Is there anything in the next month that anybody knows of that we would like to see done at the town park in the next month?
Well, if we have the fall festival, we will need volunteers.
Okay,
Started discussing, but it will be probably more in October. Can you turn your mics on if you're gonna talk? People can't hear online. we don't have-
Yeah. I think buckthorn removal here. That's what we discussed, but I think it's a little bit too early to put it now. It has to be in October. We can mention it and get
okay,
find people who is interested in helping with that.
okay, we can put that down for October. On the other end. Okay. Thielen Cemetery. Do you want to update on that? Nina?
Thielen Cemetery, what was the last one? Nina, rewind to memory. Well, we cleaned up, we removed a lot of brush and mulch thing. Kyle was so good at using your equipment. In addition to that, there's one new appearance, and I think we have to research that.
We'll talk about that when we get
That
to,
later. Okay, that's fine.
thank you though. That was very interesting,
I wasn't the rule.
but yeah, that's fine. Just the volunteer part. So for right now, we don't need any more work out there. Oh, no, we're gonna get trap rock. Maybe. Okay. Before that, before we do that, I think we might want to pull some weeds on the trail a little bit. I was kind of doing that, but we might want to do something before that happens.
As a volunteer, I think it can be repaired. There's few of those chains fell down. I think if somebody can drill another hole and put some glue in there, put the hooks back in, there you have to open them up first because there's those screw rolls and that's a hook. They were closed up so people could not steal the chain. So it has to be opened up and then put that one back in there. I think with some drill from the same size, that's what they did. They put some decent glue in there. A volunteer can do that maybe.
Do you think do you two want to take that on?
Yeah. So I
Okay,
think there are two or three places.
two or
I
three
can go
places.
with you and show you where it is.
Okay, otherwise, yeah, it looks really nice out there. Good job. And Nina and your husband helped and Tom and Kyle, so.
You might need 3 more
Okay.
rocks because otherwise for what they've come off, I don't think your chain's gonna be long enough now because you lost part of your rock. And if you do, my understanding is Rivard said that those were a stock landscape block at the time we did that.
I asked Neil at that time when we looked for the gravestone and I chatted with him and say, do you have still the size of the stone? Because I don't have the size of the stones in my old records. And, or we have to dig one up and then measure it and then order the same thing. That's another option. But I think they're probably like a foot and a half, buried into the ground.
Yes. I've already taken the measurements there and that's what they told me that was being used for at the time that was built.
Yeah. they
Sorry,
have
the
still-
mic wasn't unmuted. Could someone repeat the question?
So the question was Rebar Stone, informed, and is there a solution that they would provide for that?
We never asked them.
'Cause it looks like,
solution.
the rock had a
Yeah.
fracture
once
in it
the
that
slides,
split.
Yeah. The last time when I went with Lori to look over the entrance stone, I mentioned that because it's a very porous material, and they have some product you can spray it, so water will not infiltrate, it will protect it. They gave me a sample which we can put in there. But my impression when I saw the stones for the last time, there's some mold in there. I think it has to be probably for pressure wash now and let it dry, and then you can put the product, otherwise it will not do anything. So this is something volunteer can do. And we can order 2 more stones, volunteer can dig one out. I think. Looking at a lot of information lately after our last visit, I think they were 3 feet long each stone, so it must be like a foot and a half more in the ground. So we can order some new ones, which will be expensive, or try to fix them. One is broken, the other one is just loose, the hook got loose, let's put them back in there with glue.
We all have to take a look at them and take some pictures. I have to go to.
I mean, it was a clean break, so it's
Yeah,
just- if you
yeah.
had a little bit longer chain, maybe you could
That's
put
what I
another
think.
anchor point into it.
Yeah.
Then you'd only be
Yeah, I
replacing
think
some
so.
chain and an anchor.
And I think not all chains are the same length, maybe is trying to find a chain for me a little bit longer
Wow.
and go this way around.
Okay, so you guys will check it out?
Yeah.
Okay, and set it up.
I
You
can
want to
go
set
along
it up
you,
with
we can
Nina?
Discuss it and see what you think, what is the best approach, and then go to revise.
I'm possibly available Friday. I don't want-
Okay, thank you. So then I have north side of Prairie, south side of Prairie, so we'll put both of those for October for the buckthorn.
Yes.
The preserves.
The preserve, I went today with Todd because when I asked him, he asked me where it is. I said, well, it's not so easy to find and in the map. So I said, whenever you have time, let me know. I will go with you. And so I went today with him. I have a bad foot, but he came with 2 4-wheelers and we went over there and we almost tipped in that place. So he said, oh, I know what needs to be done. That's the best thing. So I said, when can you start? He said, I forgot he did not have to work order. So well, tonight we have a meeting. We'll ask for a work order and then he will fit it in whenever he can.
So was it did he want to do the entire length that you and I
Yes,
measured
and
out?
because I was with 2 4-wheelers. He was 1 4-wheeler, he cannot walk.
Yeah.
And Brenda, I think it's Brenda. Yeah,
Yeah.
co-worker with him came with another 4-wheeler. I sat behind her and I went over there to show where we had marked it with some hunting plastic tape there. And I told her, uncle, the trail goes to the lake there. But then on the return, instead of going the same place, we continued and right down where you get to the lake, there's a little turn. It's also quite tippy. And it was a little bit tricky for the 4-wheeler. So I said, well, if you have the machine, can you do that little piece too? So they would do that.
Yeah.
As soon as he get the work order and fits it in his schedule.
So Nina, did he, is it 1 area or 2 areas that was talking about here? And did Todd give you any idea on how many hours it would take him or whether he'd have to bring in more material or different
No
material?
material, he just has to grade
He's
it up.
gonna regrade the existing site.
Yeah.
Yep, it's a part where it's on the slant.
Yeah,
it's
I
just
know which one.
check.
I did. All right.
I was trying to look back on, we made,
It's got
Was
a
it
few, it's got a
260
few
feet?
small stumps that he pull out when it's
Yeah.
good, I'm sure, but.
Yeah, he has to do that.
did
So
we put
Teresa,
a
what do you
price
need to
amount on that?
write a
What?
work
Did
order?
we put a price amount on the work order?
Okay.
No, well, I said we would ask for a work order tonight.
And your
Should we?
Let me ask, so your work order is to have some regrading done on some areas where it's uneven that you pointed out to him today?
Yeah, and it is, we measured with Janet, it's 216 feet. And now is this probably that other little part is maybe 25 feet more, that's all.
Okay,
So it will be less than 250 feet.
okay. All right, just so I know what I'm asking him for.
Yeah,
Okay, so you're gonna do it?
Yeah,
do the
you guys
work
can't do
order.
work orders. It has to
No,
come
I
to me.
know,
Yeah,
I was gonna send it to you.
yeah.
here,
No,
so
I
you
got
do
it
that.
written down.
Okay. Yeah, and he knows, I don't know, from
Yeah.
talking with Nina, what to do. Okay, anything else at the preserve? The trails were mowed. We'll talk more about signs when we get to the preserve, but anything else for volunteers out there? Okay. If anybody ever wants to walk it and move rocks,
With what you want to do on the far end, is there approval that needs to happen for us to go do that? If we've scheduled a day in October to do that? The buckthorn on this far,
here on this part,
yeah,
I don't know.
no, I think it's fine. The north side here,
yeah.
The
there's-
committee needs to make motions to have
Okay.
volunteer work done.
Okay, we can make. a
Because
motion.
you have to have a motion so that that instructs the volunteers what you've agreed to have done.
Okay,
Yeah,
we had one for the work order last time, last week.
the new one reserve.
I had that one for last time. I was going to do it, but then Nina was gonna meet Todd, so she wanted me to wait just to make sure he could do it and stuff, so we did get that. But go ahead.
shall I make a motion
Sure.
then to put on the schedule for some volunteers to clean up or remove some buckthorn in the southern part of the town prairie park? And in the northward part wherever there is, but starting at the south part. And then move slowly north.
Starting at this. Okay, any discussion? So starting on the south and going to the north, removing buckthorn.
Yep.
In the fall, in October.
In the fall, when the leaves are down and only the buckthorn has still some green leaves, that's when you recognize it.
Okay. Any other discussion? On that, all in favor, say aye. Aye, opposed? Okay, that carries.
There's one more thing for the town hall here. What about the poison mustard, which was,
Yeah,
was that
that was-
removed or what?
Bob
the
Marty,
parsnip?
yeah, Bob Marty said he'd take care of that.
Has it been taken care of or not yet?
I have not spoke to Bob to ask him that question since he told me.
Okay.
But the parsnip on the corner was sprayed, but the part out in the, and that was sprayed previously, we understood, or the county came through and hit it, one of the two.
Okay.
But yeah, Bob has already talked to Forest Control to hit that the next time they're in town.
Okay.
Well, just wanted to know.
Any volunteer opportunities on Highway 35 property at this time?
The only, last time I went by there, the only thing is there's a bunch of small trees, but I don't know if we want to do anything with those or not, or if we just want to leave them until.
Pat, are you talking about the small trees that was left standing there after they mowed?
Yes.
They're not there anymore.
Oh,
And and AT&T had to repair a line in there, and I think a utility company removed those.
they
If
were.
if no
all
one
of them.
knows
Quite a-
where they went, that's what happened. to
There
them.
are quite a few of them. Did they remove all of them?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
All right, that's done.
So the cable,
Turn that
this
up,
one
turn
at
that
top. So, yeah, the cable that was laying on top of the ground, that,
But
That
you
was-
still want to cut some of the buckthorn there and try to find a trail back to the, down the,
no,
not with that, we'll discuss that further, but not at this time, I wouldn't.
okay, good.
the board has not decided to improve that park area.
Okay,
Rustic.
rustic.
It is rustic.
It is. Okay, the last thing I have is building kiosks and, Mike had, sent me some stuff a couple months ago about the possibility of the volunteers maybe building them or building a kiosk. And I just wanted to discuss that a little bit. I think all of you some information on the kiosk. The stuff that, Gail had put out. And I've looked at kiosks, there's many different kinds. We have money in our budget for kiosks. We asked for it on ARPA. I don't think that's gonna happen, but I don't know. I guess one idea I had is maybe purchasing one like around $5,000 or so, purchasing one. That's what they are. They're $1,500 to $10,000. And so maybe are up to, I don't know, whatever, maybe $1,000. I don't know. We'll have to look into it, like buying one for the preserve so we can get that one, get one done out there.
Can I ask a
And
question?
then maybe using that as a model or something example. Yep, go ahead, Justin.
How does one get a $1,500 to $10,000 spread? What am I getting for 10 grand? What am I getting for 8 grand? 6 grand to $1,500.
Well, on this, what I'm looking at, like the 1,800 one is just a basic, just a really small little roof and has, I don't know, let's see, it's 7 feet by 3 foot, pre-assembled timber frame, joining of white oak and black locust. And then the next one, that's 2,600, it's a little bit bigger. It has crossbars. So, and then I think I could go right up to the 10,000 is probably more close to like what the county has, or, you know, it's a much bigger roof, much bigger posts. Has more options for what you can put on it. That's not anything that we need. I'm just telling you that that's what's out there. I
So
think
this document's not online, is it?
yeah,
In the
it
Google
is.
Drive?
Yep, well, one of it's in my ARPA fund stuff. And then it should be
It's
in
an
ours
ARPA
too.
one, okay.
There is a classic kiosk that's 2,600 that I think is something we should look at. I think it's got everything on it that we would want. But
I'm gonna suggest, Janet, that if this is something you want to pursue further to see where you would go with it, that you re-agenda it as its own item and then have the document.
well, I can talk about it more down below too. I don't want to wait. I want to try to, I mean, I want to know if this is a possibility. Where we should go, if we should look at buying one and then maybe making the ones for here, or, you know, getting one and finding out that maybe they're, I mean, I know you can make them online. If you just Google kiosks, it shows Cub Scouts that are Boy Scouts who have built them. I know it's possible to do it, but I don't know how much you save. I don't, that we for sure need to do more work, more looking into.
I
But
think,
I'm bringing it up here just because we have volunteers.
yeah, I think that classic kiosk, the second one, on
Yeah.
the top. I think what I like about that, it has a metal roof, so it will not
Yeah,
rot.
yep, I for sure want a metal
It
roof.
can be done maybe if it is for the, use that same structure, but that this is a bigger one, make this a little bit smaller one for the preserve. And that maybe some volunteers are willing to do that and will not cost as much. And if we
Yeah.
really like it and it works, maybe they want to do some more. So
Yeah.
I really like the second one. The third one, it
Did you pull it
has
up?
shingles that will deteriorate over time.
Yep.
So that's
Yep.
my input. Those who don't have a roof and you put something on, eventually with the rain and snow will deteriorate. So I
Yep.
think a roof, a little tiny roof, and I
I
don't know the
agree.
dimensions. Yeah, it says 42 wide, so there's the total width.
What
When
do you
you're
think?
looking at these, do these have like a concrete base?
I
Oh,
think
that's a
so.
good question. Does it have a
There's
concrete
like-
base?
There's like poles, maybe 6x4 poles that go into the ground anchored.
Anchored
So-
into concrete?
So let me say something,
Go ahead.
is that when you're doing them out of wood posts, those rot when they're in concrete because they're exposed to the elements.
But if they
And I
use
know-
cedar.
It's treated wood, that will
treated
last
wood
for
or
many
cedar,
years.
Well, let me say this, you can say that, and I know there's one right out in the town of Hudson that they're tearing down because the thing is rotted out and it was treated wood.
How long? How old
It's
is it?
20 years old.
What, is that the lifespan of them? I mean,
But I'm backing you up because I'm saying this to you about, should you be looking at Valspar posts rather than wood posts? Should you be looking at metal rather than wood? I'm just throwing that at you because the Valspar is gonna last forever. You know,
What,
so-
Bell?
I don't know.
Valspar is what we're using on all of our street sign and road sign posts now because two things about those posts, and they're not, I mean, you can get them in all sizes, but it's a material made from recycled stuff, so it's like a plastic. It's almost like that decking you see. that
Oh,
you're
okay.
Trex,
saying.
it's similar to Trex decking.
See, it's
Okay,
similar to
that's what I
Trex.
was picturing. Okay.
So it's similar to that, and you can get it in various sizes. We only get the ones that we can put street signs on and stuff.
Mhm.
And we get what's called the breakaways, so that if you hit them with a car, it's not gonna impale you because it will break away. But there's various kinds that you can buy, and I'm just asking you to not jump on this too fast and maybe take the time to investigate a few things.
Yeah, no, I think that's certainly. worth
May
looking
I say
into.
something? I think for oh,
Is Valspar the company, actual company name?
It could be, I have to check in the office.
But is it our public works people that are using these
Yes.
composite posts
Yes.
now?
And the reason, I'll tell you why we went to them, is because the treated lumber was not lasting on street signs. That's why when you see a street line, go like this, it's because it's rotting. And they got so expensive. They are so expensive. Last year, I think a 4x4 was costing us like $150. And so we went to this stuff because it's cheaper.
Mhm, mhm.
the one problem it has, if you want something attractive, decorative, you have the post in one material, but if you want to have a nice roof and you want to have some precious to finish that up, if you have two different materials, unless you are lucky, you can get the same color. I'm looking also at the aesthetic for our town. And with wood, you have, I know because I've used several types of treated wood. One is for exterior for long periods, has a deeper treatment. And what you normally find here, treated wood, that will not last.
No.
I have posts for my horses years ago, 30 years ago, and we pulled them out. They were like new. We can still use them. So it depends where and what kind of soil it is. But I think if volunteers can do some work with that, wood is at least to start with one. If you don't like it, then we can look at more options, because we've been waiting for the signs for a long time.
We have, and I really want to move forward on it. So we could do you want to do like a separate meeting that we talk just about that?
There's no reason to do a separate meeting. Come
Well,
up with a basic design.
yeah,
Have a
but
discussion, you want to go forward, and then you go out and you price your material, and so you've got a talking point, and it's timber tax or tracks, there's several.
yeah, but we
ones.
have to decide that. I mean, we could all talk all night about different.
I know it,
ideas.
that's what I said, you could go on and on about it, so are y'all in agreement that you want to go forward? You need your motion that you want to go forward to come up with this,
Yeah,
and what your timeline is going to be, and then pick your size and write it down and get the prices and pick a point to
so
start.
do we want to?
Are
Okay,
you looking at finishing this project before winter?
yes, definitely,
Yep,
as soon
that's
as,
the whole
I would
thing.
say as soon as possible, so.
Are our volunteers in front of that ready to tackle something like that? So then we can make a motion.
I mean, are we gonna look at purchasing one and building from there,
Yeah,
or?
yeah.
Okay,
That's what
So you're
I,
looking, you want to purchase a ready-made one or
no,
a kit one?
no,
Well, you're getting a mixed message, that's why I asked.
you can get some ready kit drawings online, similar to this one. And I know Kyle, they're familiar with working with woods. And having a picture, they can build something that's
So
not.
you're saying the blueprints per se are online and you're gonna buy the blueprints, we're gonna buy our own.
We don't need
material.
to buy the blueprints, you get them free, and they can
Okay.
improvise. I trust them that they can improvise. It's one, we're not asking them a dozen.
There you go.
Okay, so we'll come up with a blueprint and a plan
Yeah,
by our next meeting?
yep.
Okay,
Maybe if you find some blueprints and some way to do that.
Go get a
Before the
price on the
meeting?
material and bring it back, gives you a ballpark figure for something.
Well,
Yeah,
if
And
they
then
know
you-
how much wood they need to do all the construction and so on, then they can tell us so much wood we need, and then we can figure out how much it costs.
So are those
Okay.
two volunteers gonna take care of that, or is
Yeah.
a member of the committee gonna go out and look?
20 years ago, a friend of mine built the ones at Perch Park right now for the county. And I think it was, we built them very inexpensive, so we could easily do what we're talking about here.
okay. So, and then I know Mike, the other volunteer, is very interested too. He had already sent me stuff and had already said, I know, because he was at a meeting where we talked about how expensive they were, and he's like, I've been doing some research and I really think this is something we could do.
That's my.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, yep.
I think it's.
So, do you want to make a motion on that? Or someone?
I will make a motion that for the next meeting, our two volunteers here bring some construction information and sizes. And then bring some cost for the town, how much it would do and would cost. And then we'll move from there. We'll approve at that meeting and then they can build it and go.
Okay.
ahead.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Okay, any discussion?
Yes, did you want to go online? And look at it? Okay, yeah. fine.
You can open it to second.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's called classic kiosk.
Yep, classic.
So
We
I was-
know metal roofs
Wood
for
frame,
sure.
yeah.
Look at the different wood options or the
Right.
Valspar options. Look at the different options.
So while you guys were talking, I was just looking on Pinterest and I,
That's classic.
yeah.
Yep.
But I was just looking and there's like tons of designs there. There's like 100 different designs there
Yeah,
and stuff.
there's
There's
a
tons
lot
of
of
them out there.
Yeah. Yes.
So I used, when I built the retaining wall, I used blackjack or tar to put into the side of the hill to stabilize the wall. Never had any trouble with the timbers rotting or anything. It was just the water that got behind the wall, pushed it down.
Oh, okay.
So I do think you can use some material. If you don't buy the right treated wood, you can use tar to put it in. It'll last 20 years. That's the next job for who's ever run.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
I,
Opposed? Okay, that
As,
carries.
as a reference, when we purchased the steps, they came from ABC here in Hudson. And they have the correct treated wood for in ground. So I think I would approach them for cost of the,
I forgot who we dealt with there, but they were very good to deal with.
yeah. Have you ever been with
I missed it.
ABC?
ABC
here?
lumber over on.
Oh, yes, yeah, they did our whole. reline.
So we bought the wood for the steps by the Perch Lake. We bought it from them. We bought it from them.
There's an account already set up there and it's already tax exempt. All the pieces are in place, so. And you should get a government little discount too.
And you mentioned it has to be lasting for 30 years or more,
I agree.
not less.
Okay, good. So
They're a timber tex or Trex dealer.
the
or an
timber Trex.
equipment product.
I'm sorry. this-
ABC is a timber tex or Trex dealer, or they have an equivalent product.
Okay, so that's all the volunteer stuff. So if you guys can head out if you want, or discuss it more outside if you want. You can turn the mic up. Thank you. Thank you for coming. You can take it. Yeah,
Go get your work done and.
thank you. Yeah. Yep. Yes.
Okay, thanks, Tom.
You have homework to do.
Kyle.
Okay, so number one, also we did that. Number two, discuss ARPA funds. Well, now that you guys are both here, was there anything, any update? You said there wasn't anything new at the meeting?
We looked at the proposals given to us by the ARPA committee. There was no action taken on any of them. So
Okay,
it's back on the agenda for September.
okay, do you think there'll be any action then?
Who knows? I can't answer that.
Okay. Well, we'll talk
Um,
more when it comes to the budget then, because that might make a difference, but
You can put in your budget what you wish,
yeah.
and it'll be up to
Just
the
go
board
from
as to what they accept in that budget and what they go forward with.
Yep.
Right now, you know, we have a couple of years to spend that money, so we have some time.
Yeah,
And the board is looking for some more answers, and we'll see what happens in the coming months.
okay. What did you find out from community?
Midco is not coming again until October. They had a change of plans because of some other things that took place, so they're coming in October.
Oh, okay, so you still don't know that.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so then we can talk about budget and the budget review. The town is starting the budget for 23. And you all should have got a copy of this. I asked the Terry to give you one. And you guys.
Yeah, she's got it.
Okay. And I would like to next month decide and make a motion on our budget. So I just mostly wanted to just kind of go over it a little bit now, and then we'll plan to do it more next month, but to look at it. The one thing that I want, well, let's see, we can just go down through it. I had a couple questions for Teresa and Lori. So the cemetery is always up. Should that be down in with our expenses, or just, it's.
No, that's where it goes because it's part of Health and Human Services. That's the way the state requires it to be.
Okay,
for
so I know you told me that
tax
before. Okay, but it's still ours.
Yeah,
It's our
it's still
budget.
yours, but that's how it has to be divided.
Okay. Okay, so we'll just go down. So the cemetery. Oh, this is so hard for me to read. I like the other one. 1,000 is what we budgeted last year. Where can I see that on?
She didn't get the budget on there. I just see that right now. but
Yeah,
it
okay,
is-
I can see that. So I have.
It
a
is
work-
on this sheet right here.
I have a worksheet that I use that goes up and down here.
Yeah, 675.25 days and your budget was 1,000.
So
Yeah.
yes, 675.
675, and I wonder, is that with all of the stone?
That's with Todd.
That's Todd's.
Todd was $535.25 of that.
Okay, so
So I don't know where the other.
there's
But
still
the
gonna
other's
be-
gonna be some,
It's gonna be more effective.
150, I don't know what that is.
Oh, sure, I thought it.
I don't have the year to date. This is just July.
Well, it doesn't show you this is pretty anyway, but I don't know without looking it up to see where that
Okay.
other small amount came from. The stone was paid for totally by an out stone. So there was no charge, the bill from regard was a zero balance bill that was sent to the town.
Okay, that is
Okay,
nice.
oh yeah, here it
Yeah,
is.
that's wonderful.
Okay, oh, that's for Perch Lake, okay.
On our behalf, I sent regard, thank you, don't ask them for the appropriate.
Thank you. Okay, so,
They give us a good price
yeah,
for that stone and the labor and everything.
Good.
Yes, they did give us, they gave us a discount side.
and then, well, we have to talk more about the whole bid out project, which is the hill slide. We'll be talking about that some more. But that was for 60,000, and basically we have to go to bid for that next year.
What are you
So
talking, I didn't hear what
the
you said.
bid out project, which is the hillside or the slide project, that's
yeah.
called the bid out project on here.
So what's the plan there, Janet? Is we bring this money over and double it next year or what? What's
I-
the thoughts?
I think so. I don't know. How does that work? If we didn't, because we're not gonna use up
Not that we have,
Unfortunately, we're gonna use a chunk of it for,
not that we'd have to
engineering.
spend the 60,000, but if we
Yeah.
brought it over, at least we'd have enough money in the budget if the.
yeah,
if the
yes,
bid was
yes.
higher.
Yep,
Well,
so
your
we'll
bid
have
out
to,
project was 60 grand and you spent 35.5 of it.
yeah. So sad. So, so
Well,
we'll,
it shouldn't be, I shouldn't say that. It's
That's
under the
not
bid out. That's out of the project from last year.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
That's carryover from.
Here we are last year.
Yeah,
So,
you're right.
but you had 60 grand in there and that's, we spent
Yeah.
part of that on last year's project. for
Because I
this
do
year.
think if it's
Because
bid
it's gonna
out
be
right
more.
away next spring.
No,
You could
It has to go out
possibly.
in January or February. Spring is gonna be too late.
What?
If we start in the spring,
It has to go out in January or February. Spring is
January.
too late.
the bid.
So if we bid that out right away next year, then we'd get a chance to see if the bid would come out different.
Right.
Yeah,
Which,
Yep.
another question I have is, it has to go out for bid. Is there an extra cost again to put it out for bid?
Yeah,
Every time it goes to bid. there's a
every time,
cost.
every
So-
time is a cost.
So what is the cost just to get it out for bid? Because all the paperwork which Stantec has done, that stays the same, right? There's no change.
Well, they
there'll be
sent you a
some
memo,
changes.
which you need to discuss.
I-
Yep, and we'll get into that. So maybe I should have
Okay.
done the budget yet, but we can do, we'll talk more about the budget next week. And then,
Okay.
so we'll get back to that. I just kind of wanted to go down the budget just really quick. If you
Yep.
guys have any questions, and then, like I said, we will talk about it a little bit more next week. Or next month. Yeah, lawn mowing, the restroom, we'll talk more about that. That's why I asked about ARPA. I would like to see our bathrooms improved. So I'm gonna hope for more money in there, but we'll talk more about that. There's ball field maintenance, there's playground equipment. Is that gonna always stay in there as a line?
No, I'm gonna
item?
talk to them about that tomorrow. I'll see what that
Okay.
is.
Okay. And then,
This.
yeah, there's a line item for playground equipment.
I know, I'm gonna ask her what that is. Go
Okay.
ahead.
And then the Perch Lake parking lot, that one, we put down for $1,000. There was 175. I can't remember what that was for, but then there's another 600 that was added to that for the stairs from Revards.
This right here, that should be in the.
For the
price.
stairs from River?
Yeah, the stairs from Revards Stone for the Eagle Scout project. That was $600.
Oh, so we paid for the stone?
Mhm.
Okay.
Trail system, I think that's for the TAP grant.
Yep,
And
that's
we
the
did-
outdoor rec plan. Or the
No.
outdoor, sorry,
No.
that's a TAP grant. You're right.
Yep, that's TAP grant. And so we'll also have to talk about that. We're probably gonna want more money in there for the trail system.
This one.
Signage,
That's TAP.
we're gonna talk more about that too, but there's
Trail
signage,
system,
landscaping,
yeah.
evasive
Yeah,
plant
TAP
control.
TAP grant.
We've pretty much been using volunteers and I think that's been going fine, but there still might be some costs associated with that. So we can talk more about that too. Professional fee, that's the outdoor rec plan. That we budgeted 5,000, it says 613, but I think that's gonna be, there's gonna be more for that. Preserve, we budgeted 10,000 and we have not used anything that, something maybe the kiosk money. And then Todd, we're gonna be using for that. Town Hall Park. That just must be the park in general. And the prairie, the trails and stuff. And then Highway 35, and then the Perch Lake boat landing, that's also down below. I wonder if that
I
could
know,
be moved
it's in
up.
the wrong place. What are you asking
Which
for?
one? The Perch Lake boat landing, it's a separate line item. It's down underneath parks expenses. And 55,400, it says Perch
Oh,
Lake.
yeah,
boat.
I see that. I'll
If
ask
that could
about
be
that.
moved up, that would be great.
And what's park trails, recreation, other?
That's just another category that has to be in every single category.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I have a question. Do you guys know, I was trying to see, because I see I've got Blade Runner on here. Is it Blade Runner?
Yeah.
How much it costs for him to mow? He mows the trails out here like once a month? Is it?
I don't even think.
It
it's that much.
depends on how much rain you're having as to how often he mows.
Okay,
He checks them when he's here, but he doesn't necessarily mow them.
okay, okay. Cause should we look into having volunteers do that? For less
No.
money? Just keep it.
He-
Okay, so I don't
he-
think it's that much.
It's very inexpensive and he's already here and he just zips around.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
and it's done.
Yeah, yeah. But like I said, I was trying to see what it costs. It can't be that much. Okay, okay, perfect. So look at this and then, yeah, Mark.
On here, it's got $10,000 for the budget for this year for the preserve. And would that excavating we're doing, does that come out of there?
Mhm.
And then also the signage, would that come out of there too?
Mhm.
Anything we do would come out.
Mhm.
So obviously, and do we carry anything over for the next year on that?
No.
reserve
No,
or
you
not?
just rebudget what you want.
Yeah. You have to rebudget. There's no carryover. Because are you gonna be under budget on everything or not? I mean, that's gonna be the final question when you get to the end of the year.
How are we doing our budget?
Well, it's in front of, I mean, you have it.
So we're going to next month, we'll decide on this
Okay.
and then we'll get it to the board.
Exactly flush,
Yeah,
but you're doing.
But last year we got rushed with doing this. So I want to make sure that we all look at it and have the discussion next month.
Good idea.
Now, did I see a note that we're looking at $100,000 bill for a restroom construction here?
Maybe.
it'll be more than that.
That's what, more than that now?
Well, because there was no water sewer in that bid. That was only the building.
No excavation.
Okay.
Okay.
No, yeah, no, it's needed.
Yeah. Okay.
We're looking at a holding tank for sewer there. Is that what the deal? No, we're looking for.
Why
for
not?
them to
holding
come
back? I
back
thought
here.
that was.
Well, I mean, that's something you can look at, but it's all cost.
Yeah,
That cost has not been determined.
If you're gonna have flush toilets, a holding tank isn't gonna do it.
It's not really the way
that
you
was
want
an
to go.
option in the.
And where is that on our priority list?
Well, I
For
guess it's what we
ARPA?
decide. It's high on mine, but I think I'm the only one. so.
ARPA had it as number
But it
4.
was high on it. It was like the number.
Yeah, it was our number
Place-
1 for ARPA.
Yeah.
I mean, it was what we wanted first for ARPA funds, and it's number 4 for the board for ARPA.
The ARPA committee's recommended it as number 4.
Yes.
No,
So-
fair enough. I think it's high priority. I'm glad we're looking at it. So.
Yes. Okay, so anything else on the budget for now? That's, okay, we'll talk about that more. I put everything. Okay, the parks. Tucked away in my agenda. Okay, the town hall park, any updates? I guess that's where we'll talk about the bid project or the site out project. It went for bid and it was, I think, $100,000 over.
It was 4.5
Bid.
times what and the reason, let me talk to you just a little bit
I
about
can read,
this.
okay, I can read it.
Well, not
Yeah.
that so much. You have to understand that when you go to bid this late in the season, when you're in a pretty hefty building year, that you're not necessarily going to get the best bids, which is what happened to us when we went to the preserve the first time for the parking lot. Our first bid of the preserve was outrageous. The second one was in line. You only had a bid on the excavation work for the hillside. You did not have any bid on the slide. So the board denied or rejected the bids, first of all, due to cost and also that we're not going to do site work without the equipment. You have to go back to bid on this, and Stan Tech is giving you some recommendations by email as to how that should happen.
And I have that.
And you've got it in front of you too.
Yep.
So you want to go ahead and say,
Yep.
I won't take your spiel.
Okay, so this is from Sarah McDonald from Stantec. She said that, so let's see. The bid that we received was higher than estimated, largely due to desired construction timeframe, the availability of contractors this late in the construction season, and likely the cost of fuel. What we recommend that the town, 1, rebid both projects in January or February, the ideal time to receive more competitive bids. 2, revise specifications,
Specifications.
there you go, thank you. For the hillside playground equipment project to include a minimum of 3 slide options. 3 for each the plastic and 3 for the metal slides by 3 different manufacturers that fit the site design to increase the likelihood of receiving more than one bidder on the project. 3, revise the schedule / substantial completion timeframe dates to allow for more flexibility in completing the work based on contractor availability. And 4, directly notify, advertise to potential bidders when the project is posted to Quest. She said there are not many value engineering or cost saving options beyond what was included in the alternate. Please let us know how you'd like us to proceed. Stantec is ready to provide support to the town in a rebid and can provide a scope and a fee for the modifications required to rebid the project this winter. Let me know if you have any questions. And that's from Sarah.
Well, what I would respond, that we have bid late last year for the existing playground. We had everything ready to bid, and it was Stantec who said, let's wait a little bit so the prices get lower when the people know if they have a project to do that. So last year, they told us that we should wait. Do you remember that? I remember the bid. So this year, for whatever reason, it has been postponed, and this one, we're more or less in the same time, and then this year it doesn't work. So yes, we have no choice than to go in January, but it is a shame. Would have we known that we have to bid in January or February, we could have done it. Because we had almost everything ready for January, February to do that. About the equipment, we have to find some more companies to do that. We give them 3 companies, 2 for stainless steel and plastic. We can find out some more. other
Yeah, I mean, I
plastic
think we
companies.
have that, don't we, from,
We have
you
for
said-
plastic slides, we have
Yeah.
only 1 company.
okay,
For the stainless steel, we have 2 companies, which is Gorig and the ones from Seattle.
okay,
So we can do that for next month, find some other companies and put it back to bid in January. I wouldn't wait until February.
no, I
We've
don't
learned
think so
our
either.
lesson.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And I think that's the only thing, I mean, should be the only thing that we need to do for going to bed.
Yeah.
Is that, so,
You're so close to doing it again.
I know,
I
So
thought we could
close.
have done it this year because we were ready.
yeah,
But anyhow, things are the way they are.
It was a battle we can't control.
we can't. No, so, so I think, so the next thing is to do some of the work for looking for different, this, like you said, we already have some of that done. We can do that. Should I meet, I have to set up a meeting then with Sarah? I suppose to get the scope?
Well,
I mean,
She
she
need-
said that,
number 1 is she needs to, Stantec needs to know what direction you're gonna go here.
Yeah.
So number 1, are you gonna go back to bid in January, February? Number 2, are you gonna give them some options for these slides?
yes,
Number 3, are you gonna extend the timeline?
Extend timeline or what time for bidding?
no,
for
for the
completion.
project to be done.
What?
For completion,
Oh, for completion. Well, if it's in
because the
January,
timeline was very tight on this bid.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Because
gonna be
the
winter.
time of the year, if we start in January, February, the timeline is much.
Right, but this is what
Yes.
happens when you get this late in the year. You're pushing everybody to get done and everyone's already booked in.
Yep,
But that's what
So-
I mentioned, you were not here. Last year, it was Stantec who told us that we should wait. Because of the prices in the fall, when they know more or less what they have would be lower. And that's the way it went also late, and then eventually we got the snow.
We're gonna talk about next year, how we're gonna do it, but,
Yeah,
and we know
But then
that
the
how
idea
how it was
now-
done this year didn't work, so we're
Yeah.
gonna talk about next year.
So I
what do
think, number 1, you guys have to come up with some other options.
yeah.
yep,
we'll do
yes,
that.
we can do
You
that.
gotta-
And before you schedule a meeting with Sarah, I think you have to figure out what the direction is get back to her like in November and say, here we are, what's your scope on this?
You were not here when
Okay.
you were on the phone. We decided we're going back in January. We'll find some more slides, some more manufacturing companies. So other ones for plastic, because we have 2 for stainless steel, but she mentioned for plastic. And hopefully they have the same, well, whatever, or equivalent, how it is spelled in there. And then we can have a talk with her about the timeline, because she knows them better, what is a better timeline, and then set up in November, maybe a meeting with her and move ahead for January.
Well, Janet, double our budget.
What, double our budget? Yeah, yes. That's for sure. Okay, so we'll do that. We'll work on getting the more information on the slides. We will ask her to go for bid in January, and we'll discuss a timeline when we meet with her in November.
Yeah.
And we'll have that, we can have it all by next month. We can come up with.
And I would say that should be a 15-minute meeting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that doesn't need to.
It shouldn't be any longer than that. And we'll finalize it next month in September.
Because every meeting costs us money.
Yeah,
I don't even know why you need to meet with her. She told me what she wanted and it's a matter of pushing it forward. And on your, so that on your January meeting, you're sending it to the board, hey, we want this to go.
I agree with Lori.
So do we need to, I mean, it's like, I guess looking for direction. I mean,
you need to have
Usually
a
that's what
price
we
on
do.
a scope of services from Stan Tech to have approved by the board, so you can go
so
forward for
can
a
I send
second
her an
bid.
email on
You can
that?
do an email, that would be perfect.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. I'll do an email, send her an email after we meet in September.
And then your job is to figure out where you're, what other slide companies you're gonna approach.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So she'll come back with a cost estimate of going back to bid, and you're gonna
Okay.
have to pass a motion and send it to the board, asking them to approve it to go to bid.
Yeah,
Okay.
because in January they have new prices.
We don't even worry about that. It's-
We're not
it's
worried
just-
about that.
it's just-
We're not looking at that.
It's just an action, and your action
Yeah.
is.
Yep.
That, to get it so that it's on the February town board meeting for approval.
Yeah.
To go to bed. So.
Well, actually, what we want it before that. What, in January?
Well, if you can get it there,
Whatever you're going to do as a committee,
Yes, okay. We can
that
get
needs
that
to be
done.
done.
Yep.
By the end of this year.
Okay. Okay, we'll
I
do
would
that.
aim at January, so we have a
Yeah,
monthly wait.
okay. Okay, we'll do that and I'll send Sarah the email. Okay, rain garden. Let's discuss that.
I talked again to Joe Outdoor Concepts, who did the cemetery years ago. And he came out, he measured exactly, and I gave him the sketch which we presented to the town board. And I asked him if he had included in his bid the big boulders and some stones. He knows exactly, so a few big boulders, some medium size and some small to make it nice, but hold also the ground. And he said, yeah, it will be based on the old quote, will be like $4,000 more. A material to do the whole work with, including the stones. So I told him, so if he wanted to come here to explain, but until we don't decide what we want to do, when, I told him the town goes very slow, so I don't know if it will be this year, or it will be next year. Because everything is also depending when the slide is going to be in. So that is the situation. It could be done this year. I don't think it will interfere too much with in the spring way to do the slide. But it's up to you what you prefer.
Do you have an update, Lori, for us?
on what?
Or Teresa?
On the.
On the
stormwater-
retention-
stormwater-
on the
stormwater
retention.
Lee
retention
was taking a look at that. And Chris, did you send him the pictures?
No, I have not been.
Okay, oh, sorry. Did you get a chance to send pictures to him? He is aware of it. And I really don't want you to do any work on that pond until he is sure that it is operating like it's supposed to.
Because it's possibly not right now.
Because it's possibly not. He needs to do some measuring on that thing to see what it's doing.
Okay, because it stayed, you said, Lori, it stayed full of water.
So he wants to take a look at it. He just got back in town on Tuesday, so It's on his radar.
Can I be with him when he's looking at that?
I don't know that, I mean, I think he has to look at it as part of what took place here on this project. And he needs to take a look and see what is going on with it.
The playground project or the public works project?
I believe it was put in as part of Public Works. That's why it's got the rock in it that it has.
It has rock in it right now.
Isn't there? I thought there was
is around-
limestone.
it's
Yeah.
on the- all the way around the outflow there is.
Yeah,
I thought it was Public Works that called it a rain garden so they could put it on our budget.
Did they? They did?
No,
It needs to, the stormwater retention pond needs to be,
it needs to work
it needs to be.
Well,
functional the way
definitely.
it's supposed to be.
before you guys touch it.
Whether it needs
Yeah.
to be full reconfigured, whether it needs to have whatever the bottom of the pond is. It needs to be fixed.
Because some
His-
of the water retention pond is, from what I read. You guys will.
It is a
more.
retention.
It's to help with that, right? So you put- you
Well,
put
it's to
plants in
control that
house.
flow.
Yeah,
And according to what Lee told me, we may have a situation where 2 or 3 feet down of that pond, it could still be clay
Clay.
down in there. And he said that's not something you can deal with because you can't dig all that out. So his recommendation was he wanted to look at it and he may extend a secondary pipe out of it so that it drains at a better rate.
Yeah.
And we can spend a ton of money on that thing trying to determine why it's not draining. But he's gonna come back to the board in September with his idea as to what's going on with it.
What if I can give my input, because I've studied water management. What happened this spring when we had so much water, it was not raining, it was frozen. If the ground is frozen, you can have all kind of sand or soil underneath, but it's solid, and you get a big snow melt, and it will flow over. So that's the reason we said it has to have a decent overflow, because that's the saving point. If we had the overflow like they graded now, after that, then if there's too much water, eventually will go in the rest of the wetland in there. So I mentioned that the spring overflow, I don't think with any kind of, even what they do in the bottom and make it deeper, it will help. But
No, they're not gonna make it deeper.
okay,
It all has to do with whether what's there is percolating correctly or whether it needs another outlet.
but when it's frozen, we'll never percolate. So
But that's not when
it.
it's,
2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, when I took pictures and we had 1 inch rain, it was not close. So there's something in that pond that's
Okay.
not working right.
if Stantex want to fix it, can he fix it? We asked him, can you fix it this year? So it is
Nina,
ready for
I
next year.
am not gonna promise you a thing.
No,
We
I
need to
know.
figure out what's wrong with it first, and whatever time that takes, we're gonna have to take that time to do it.
And it
And
might be
maybe
that it
spring.
get, maybe it might get fixed this fall, but it might be, we're gonna wait till frost out and spring thaw events before we are gonna really know where we're at.
Okay,
so we can put that on the back shelf.
so the pond will probably
Out
end
of-
of October next year.
It's out of our.
Yeah. that's, okay, so we'll wait to hear from Lee. Okay, oh, the benches, I have a question, Kyle and I were gonna power wash the benches, and I have on my list was to ask, but now you guys maybe know the answer. Can we, is there a hose or anything we can hook up to?
Yeah, there's a hose back here if you wanna bring it around,
Or if they
Yeah.
get it right with the fire department,
or if they hit it right with the fire department, when
Yeah.
they've got the hose going here.
or when you have, yeah, when somebody's at the fire.
I
hall.
could just make sure that they're there.
Yeah.
And then use that, okay, that's what I think I'll do.
But there's a water hose on the backside of the building.
Okay,
You can bring it around.
Boy, I don't know if it come from there to get there.
No, but you can, I think there's a spigot over on this.
No, they didn't they just.
No, next to the 4-inch. I thought there was one next to the 4-inch.
Oh, good, I didn't realize that.
So
Oh,
check on
okay.
that.
Yeah. so
okay, I'll check on that,
center.
or I'll ask.
Right on this side.
Do it on
Yeah,
the
Right
fire.
here.
Okay, we'll do that Friday. Okay. Let's go here.
All they wear those benches, it might be easier.
I
to
don't
take
know.
them.
Where you need them.
Yeah, I guess
Just
I never
wear
even
it
thought
and
about
bring it
moving the
back.
benches. Yeah, that's a good question.
Just saying.
Oh, See, Okay, we'll check on that.
Okay.
Any further brush cleanup around the town hall building? I don't think so, about. I think we did, some of the cleanup we did got taken down by the county anyway. And we already discussed the yellow parsnip, but that's been done or being done. Okay, nature preserve, discuss signage, kiosks, future trail plans. Signage, did that come up at the board meeting?
Well, I don't have the verbiage.
Okay,
I won't order any signs for the park committee without verbiage.
okay, so, we mowed the path to the county. Because we've had quite a few people that want to go from one end to the other. And, we need to have a sign that says that it's the end of our property. I let Ryan know, Ryan Brathall, that we're doing this. They can put up their sign, right, that says whatever.
They have a
That's
sign there? They don't
No,
have it.
no, but they can put a sign in, but we need to put a sign that says it's the end of the town of St. Joe's preserve property or whatever you guys want, what do we want? And then Teresa can order a sign so we can
And
get
it will
something up
be
there.
one of
So they're
those
having one that
signs
says
like
the end
that?
of their property.
I would
we're having
assume
one
they
that
are.
says
I'm
the end
I'm
of-
not gonna tell them what to do, but
I'm just saying that maybe we could keep them the same and say, this is the end of the county, this is the
Yeah.
end of the township, you know.
So my.
I don't want to
question-
wait for them. We just have to make
Okay.
do our sign.
The wording we can discuss, but my question is, what type of sign? Is it going to be a sign like a metal sign like we have here?
Yeah,
So.
I would imagine.
yeah.
You know,
so
big
just put
enough-
down wording and put it
Yeah.
in at the entrance.
Swear they can put screw theirs on the other side, who cares?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't, does it, do
So,
we have us, do we have
there's-
something that all signs look like for the town?
Well, it's gonna be a green and white sign, just like what you have here. That's
Yeah,
what goes in
okay.
parks.
Yeah,
And we would
Okay.
use, like she said, I call it Valspar, but whatever those posts are up there, that we don't have to go back and keep replacing them because they get wet and rot.
okay,
So that's what we're using for all our posts, signposts.
okay.
So you can just put on there.
So what do you want it to say?
Yeah. What is
Do you
the
want it to
wording?
say you are leaving town of St. Joseph, preserve? Or do
Yeah.
you want to say you are now entering count? I mean, what do you want to say? This is the end of the
So the
town?
question is, they're charging to be on their property.
That's,
They're
up
not
to-
charging
that's
to be
up
on
to them
ours.
too, yeah. So I don't, there again, that's their thing, not ours.
So do we actually want to tell someone that they're leaving, or do we just want
Yeah.
a sign that says you're entering?
No,
No.
I think that they're leaving because it's our property.
Yeah.
And that way it doesn't, you're just
I don't-
leaving top St. Joseph
Yeah.
property. And you can use it on the preserve, you can use it over here, you can use it on private property lines over here. You've got private property lines on preserve.
Yeah,
You could put them on Highway 35. On either end, there's several places that you could be using them, if that's your standardized sign.
yeah. But what I'd like as soon as possible is just to say that I would say that they're leaving the town of
I
St.
think-
Joseph Preserve.
Because.
And I don't know if it should say something about no other exit or something like that, or just saying that they're leaving the preserve or
I think.
leaving the trails of the preserve. I don't want to be responsible for what we say for the county. That, I just think that
Or
needs to
any
be
other
what,
private-
what
there's
they
nobody
do.
private property.
Yeah.
Space do
I
we have
think
on this
simple.
sign?
You are leaving
whatever you
the
want.
the preserve belonging to the St. Croix.
You are
St. Joseph
leaving-
County.
But the end of town of St. Joseph Nature Preserve Trail. Or,
I would
Or
not
you're
talk
saying-
about the trail.
okay,
Because
you
the
are
day you
leaving
need to do something else, I would not.
Okay.
include-
the
You
park.
said you wanted more standardized for other areas.
You want it standardized for other areas, so you're not paying ongoing setup charges, or it's not a big deal when you go to reorder. This is the side. You're leaving St.,
Yeah, I would feel. You're
And that,
leaving
because I was
the,
gonna say, you could be, not have a trail there, you might be on,
Yeah.
private, single property, single
Okay,
owner property, or you could be entering other commercial property, you could be.
okay, so leaving the town of St. Joseph proper nature. or
I
nature
say, I
preserve
like,
property.
I liked end of Thomas St. Joseph Park property. That's what I liked.
Yeah,
yeah,
Oh,
you're
End
leaving
of-
the St.
end of
Joseph
St.
Town
Joseph
Park
Park.
property.
yeah, I like that.
How many signs do you need?
Well,
Well.
I just need that one for now, but End of
If
town of
you're
St.
thinking, I mean, is one gonna suffice? That's a 40-acre line there.
I was thinking.
Yeah, well, now when you're saying that more, there's definitely more. That's just the one in my head that I know what I mean now. But
So do we have a price break on the number of signs?
No. But one is
That's a
a
good
lot more
question.
expensive than 3. So, you get a little bit of a break as you buy more.
oh, so you're doing
setup for us.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what I was wondering.
Cause you
So,
pay
like,
setup for 1 or you pay setup for 100. I mean, it's just setup. But I'm just saying, if you're gonna order these and you've got a 40-acre line. How many do you want in that 40-acre line?
Or when you can get out. If you only have a trail getting out, or by the only place.
No, the
I-
hunters are crossing back and forth and they don't need a trail.
Okay, but then the only place people maybe try to cross because they think what's there is on the west side. The wooden trail on the west side where they're going to fix, but Todd is going to repair. You know,
Yeah.
there was like a hunting thing there
Yeah.
or something, putting
Yeah.
it there, so because theirs is very close to the property.
Yep.
On the other side, coming down the trail, there are already some signs, private property. And there's a fence, so that's not needed there.
Yes,
But-
I disagree with that.
yeah, I was just gonna say, maybe we still should have that, because
That
then
should
we're
be-
covered.
Okay,
Because that one is really close to that. The one that you're talking about, that one where there, I mean, he has built a trail, that landowner. And then he's got a big sign that says private property, but that would be a good place for us to say, so then we're protected.
And on the
people-
east side, you have a driveway that runs right around the edge, and you need to move it there so that people understand that that driveway doesn't necessarily.
I would say let's
Yeah.
order 5 and
So-
we'll try to place them. Once we're there, what is the best place to do? 5 is enough?
Yeah, because that's for sure
The
three,
west, south,
for
maybe
sure
on,
three.
on the west side, 2 more.
How much, I want you to go back to this. How much access is there into that Homestead Park from our land?
The,
On that
Only from the
40
county?
acre,
the
and
county is
private
the
park.
biggest, and then I would
that's what I'm
say,
talking on that 40-acre line of Homestead Park. How many areas can you cross back and forth on there?
Oh,
You can't walk through there? Sure you can.
well, part of it's the pond,
you
or,
know,
it would be hard, it'd be very hard to do, and there's not a trail that does it. The trails don't go there,
Okay.
but I mean, I'm sure you want.
Because the
to,
issues
but-
we had a year, 2 years ago were people coming in from Homestead
Yeah,
into our park
yes,
during hunting season.
Yep.
And it's like, what are they doing?
yeah,
So how
but
many
that was a
trails-
trail.
How many of the trails either go right up to the edge of another piece of property or go right to?
Well, just we mentioned that, so the county for sure. And then the one where the property is really close. And then there's the one that you mentioned where there's hunting, a stand. So
And
there's a hunter that goes
what you
there.
say with the driveway
That's
is,
3.
there's a fence line with metal fence line, because when we try to open
Yeah.
the trail from the road. Whether our parking lot is, the next up is the driveway. So there's a whole fence line all the way to the county park. Because I crossed over there, getting hooked with the barbed wire.
Well, then if there's a
So we
fence
should
and you're
put-
crawling under it, then we need a sign.
So we should have a sign there.
You're on private property.
I think we can start with 4 signs.
Yeah.
And see how far. it
Yeah.
gets us.
Okay,
Figure out the terminology you want. What is it, leaving
And-
St. Joseph Park? or
Yeah. You're
end of
leaving,
St. Joe Nature.
well,
Trail,
what was
or-
that? What was the verbiage?
The verbiage I wrote down was end of town of St. Joseph Park property, but you could say leaving town of St. Joseph Park property.
I think
I
leaving
like
St.
end.
Joseph Park property.
What'd you say?
You're leaving,
No, I kind of like end of,
I
because
like the end of-
because they're not necessarily leaving, like on the, on the property, that person's property. I mean, along there,
I like. end.
you're not gonna really
End of
be,
town of
I
St.
mean,
Joseph
obviously, it's-
Park property.
I just like to say it's just the end
you're
of our
leaving,
property.
you're leaving for the property, that park property. There's
Oh,
no,
that's true.
Do we need
But they're not
motion for this?
necessarily leaving. I think they just need to know where it
You
ends.
just know that they're not on land that they thought they were.
Yeah,
Do we need
yeah.
a motion for this?
Yes,
possibly, but
Yes.
yeah,
I'd like to make the motion that we get 4 signs made. What was the terminology? End of the,
end of town of
End of
St.
town of
Joseph
St.
Park
end of the
property.
St. Joe Nature Preserve? or-
No,
End of town
Park
of St.
property.
Joseph Park property.
Okay,
because that can be used in other
Okay.
parks.
so
I'll
my
second it.
motion is that we get 4 of those signs made.
Okay, I'll second that for discussion. Are you okay with that? You okay with that verbiage, Nina?
That's fine.
Pat?
Yep. I think
Any more discussion?
my discussion is 4 signs aren't enough, you need to order 2 to 4 more because you have park property right over here that goes on to private property and you have a whole new home addition gonna go on the other end, going right up to the other end of ours with a whole bunch of new people running around.
How many do you
So
think,
you're
do
gonna need a couple over, you need at least 2 over there also.
you think 2 would do
So
it?
6, and I see there's people walking dogs on the Highway 35 one, so we need 1 on each side of those 2.
We're up to
Eight.
7, 8. Okay.
Okay.
Do you want to
Do I
amend?
need to amend my motion? to
Yes.
start
Yeah.
over? I'll amend my motion to include, to make it 8 signs.
Okay, any more discussion on that? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that carries. Okay, you got it, Teresa? Thank you. And then do you want volunteers to put those out? Okay. Or, okay, if Todd, well, he knows to get a hold of Nina or me if he has questions, right? Okay,
We have to walk the property to put, to
Yeah.
mark where it is.
and we can. Oh, okay, well, we can do that.
Maybe he'll take you for another ride, Nina.
Yeah, and you know what kind of ride I had today on the four-wheeler? We almost
Okay.
tipped over,
I could write that down.
full speed. My goodness,
Okay,
that was interesting.
what's the time frame for that?
Where you're now.
Do you think?
We gotta get the signs. huh?
Okay, so in the next month. Yep. Okay. Nature preserve. And then I put a motion to the board regarding the trails and signs and work order for Todd, but we got that. So I have a question for you guys. Nina and I have, well, Nina has. We have kind of the temporary where we would like the trails to be. Does that need to be something we ask the board that we have that for sure, or? Yeah, at the nature preserve. I mean, they're, and I don't know how, I mean, I think all trails are somewhat temporary or can be changed, but what we're mowing right now, what we're currently mowing right now.
Well,
We could
you were
have it-
approved for the, if I remember, and I could be wrong, you were approved for that exterior loop. At a
Yeah,
board meeting.
yeah, when
I don't
remember.
remember that there was any other approvals, but I could be wrong, but
I don't think there was, because in fact, I know there was, because we had it all done, and then it was, well, you can't have this done yet, it's not approved, and that maybe was even before it was completely purchased and all that, so, but Nina does have a map, and
Yes.
I think Gail
Last
is,
time when I walked with you, when Lucas
Yeah.
was there, I sent that map to Gail.
Yeah.
Because she has some nice software to make the trail and she had something. And it is based on real walking where we were.
yeah, Yep.
So with that map, we can bring it to the town board. if
and
they
then ask for
approve
that
it.
approval.
Yeah.
Okay,
Then maybe you wanna highlight which ones are the new ones that you're adding. as opposed to what you're already doing.
No,
we're
they're the
mowing,
same
we're
ones.
mowing the trails right now, there's
Yeah,
nothing
they're the
extra.
same from last year.
There's only, we had 2 lines, now there's 1, and then
Yeah,
I
that's
think you
what-
added that one, so it's
And
just a
then the
little
map that
different.
was removed.
Yeah, but the perimeter, most of that's the same.
So let me understand. You're gonna add mowing more trails,
Mm-mm,
No,
no, what's currently mowed is what,
what is gonna be
What's
on
gonna be
this
there?
map that you're
Mhm.
putting
Yeah.
together, so it's officially.
Yep.
Got it.
okay, so I'll keep that on there. Trails, okay. Okay, Perch Lake launch area and parking lot. Discuss building possible structure on the portable toilet, discuss any signage needed.
did I send you eventually those little structures?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I think we'll just, I don't know, do we want to pursue that right now, or just kind of keep it on?
doesn't matter
let's see.
because I thought, what I saw, I stopped in Afton. They have a park and they
Yeah.
had a little portable toilet, and they built out of wood, some little structure, very plain, so they can come still with a bobcat or whatever forks they have, they can get the porta potty out and back in. And it looks nice. I don't know if you put it online or not, so
Probably
they can
not.
see it.
Probably not until I know we're gonna, like,
We
do
can
that.
bring it up next time, because that could be a project for volunteers to do.
Yeah, because I do think we're.
After the
out-
kiosks.
The season's ending there, so that's.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
next year.
let's see how the
project.
kiosks
So we
go.
can discuss that next time and have some samples, maybe somebody has some nicer samples, that's fine. But it
I-
was simple, it fits within the natural environment, was some kind of cedar wood.
Mhm.
So-
Okay,
I think I've been, it's been a very positive experience. Like I drive by there like 4 times a week, because when I'm out in Somerset at my mom's and then I scoot back. And it's been really nice to see that things are picked up and in pretty good shape. I did stop one time and I actually, there was some stuff on the steps and I said, we're just reminding people that we're trying to keep these clear, and the people just said, there's only a few of us here and if someone comes, we move it, so I'm not the police, so, but I did mention it to them, so just to get the word out, that kind of thing. But like when I've gone by, things have been actually relatively calm. I
Yeah.
don't know if there's been other complaints.
yeah, I don't know, have you, because I would say the same thing for me, I thought the same thing, that it's been fine, people were hanging their towels on the railing, I have seen that.
Yeah.
But I guess I
Sometimes
would
they
try
do
doing the
that,
same thing
yeah.
if I was gonna go swimming across there, I'd probably
Yeah.
hang my towel too.
I did see them, putting their towels even behind on the brush behind too.
Oh.
They were hanging them on the, which led me to believe we should have, but the idea isn't to have towel hangers there,
Yeah.
but I actually was really pleased at the fact that I didn't see a lot of things happening, and I've been by there quite a few times.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I don't know, have you heard anything else in the bathrooms, have they been okay?
I got some complaints over 4th of July there.
Okay,
I think there was some partying going down and I know the police were called. So that's expected on holiday weekends. It was
Yeah.
pretty overcrowded at places. It's something to think about. When you're talking about this enclosure for this porta potty, I'm just gonna throw this out at you. What kind of maintenance is that gonna take for us?
Mhm.
And is it really gonna improve it that much? Cause you're still gonna have to have the front open to pull that thing out. Where the
Yeah.
ones that
yeah,
the ones at the park in Afton are on this way and the side street is where they're pulling them out. They're not straight front in front of
No,
you. They're
they
this
were
way.
just pulling it.
Yeah.
at
I
this
know,
end.
but you see the side of that structure. And so this one where it's parked, how much are you really improving the site when you still have to pull it out the front? I'm just
Yeah.
throwing that at you.
You know
Because
what?
now you're looking at another maintenance issue. Now you have to maintain this and stain it and keep the graffiti off of it and blah, blah, blah.
yeah.
yeah,
One of the things that I think is impact what happens in the parking lot is the amount of young people that are coming with boards that have to be pumped up. You're talking about your paddle boards that are inflatable boards.
Yeah.
So, I was over there one day and I was actually just kind of, I had the kayaks over there and I was just kind of hanging around for a little bit. And it was amazing because people would come, they get their boards out, they're sitting with their foot pumping it up. So they're actually in the parking lot watching, seeing what's going on, which is exactly what you want. If you've got a lot of people there, you want people hanging around because there's less vandalism every time you have people in a
Right.
parking lot in an area. They're not just grabbing their stuff and then heading down. And the same thing when they come back, then they have to deflate it and then put it in the car. So that's taking up some time. It seems like there's always someone kind of there in the parking lot doing something, which I think helps, like for vandalism and those kinds of things. It's a little different, now with the paddle boards, and there's so many inflatable ones.
Yeah.
A lot of the younger people have cars that aren't big enough. And
Yeah,
so they have to take it out of the trunk or take it out of the back seat, that kind of thing, and blow it up.
Yeah.
So,
And I think during the daytime, you're exactly right.
yeah,
Where it's a problem is at night.
right.
yeah. But also, I think the nicer something looks, the nicer, hopefully, people are gonna take care of it.
Well,
not
like I
trash
said,
it.
I think the park really needs to think about what all this stuff is
So-
costing you to maintain. Because putting it up is great, but what do you do in 5 years when someone has to stain it and sand it and do all this? And you're adding a lot to all of our parks, and is this really the best place to have that at? It's just a question.
And I-
Because maintenance is an issue.
And I think it
Well-
also is providing a service to the people, the service people that are in the area, because I have seen a lot of, company trucks. It's amazing how many people just pull in,
Right.
use the restroom, and then get on their way. Because there aren't a lot of, there are not a lot of
Right.
facilities out in that
Right.
area.
And this one's
there.
used a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the same thing happens here, but, so we are providing a service which is probably needed, especially during.
And I agree with you, but I'm talking about the surround.
Right.
To me, the surround is
Yeah.
extra.
I really
Yeah.
compliment our park committee on that Perch Lake, the extended parking lot, the stairway, the restrooms. I mean, 5 years, we've turned that place around from just a dump garbage pit into a real nice place. I go down there quite often. My wife swims the lake often. We go down there, if it's packed now, people are parking the way they should park. They make 3 lines. There's not that many they park all around the circle. It's like our crowd has adjusted to a nice parking
Yeah,
lot
yeah.
for Perch Lake. What an asset we've made this township. 5 years ago, anytime there was a big crowd on 4th of July, it was a damn dump.
Or even longer.
So I don't see
was-
garbage. I see some garbage around, nothing like we used to.
Yep, I agree.
We've got a
It's a
facility
happy-
now people are using and are proud of.
Yeah.
And
thanks,
thanks
Mark.
to everybody for bringing it there.
Yeah.
Well, they have done some
It takes a
statistics.
committee.
If you, it's like a house, if you have a house which is a mess, you will not look out for it. If you have a spick and span house, you are afraid almost to make it dirty.
Yeah.
Remember-
Yep.
remember
Oh,
when
yeah.
people-
Definitely.
You're
definitely gonna treat a nicer place nicer.
If it's a dump, who cares?
Remember when people parked there and you took a chance going down the hill and you'd see people run down the hill with their floaties and stuff like that, falling. Oh, it's just a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a
Garbage
lot
all over.
nicer.
Wonder
Yeah.
who was paying for the garbage to be picked up, and
Yeah, yes, yes. It
all I
looks
can
very
say
nice.
is thank you. I think you've all done a tremendous job.
Well,
there.
you have.
So
Yes,
I'm
yes.
glad
It
to
takes
have
a,
been part.
it takes a
I'm glad to
village or
have
it
been
takes
part
a
of it.
town. I see on our budget, it's $193 a month for the porta potty down there. And then there also was a waste management bill for
That's your
$34
garbage. Here,
here.
yeah. Over here by the park.
Right, for the
Yeah,
playground.
it says Perch Lake Park.
Yeah, there's a garbage
but
can
we-
here.
Okay. The Perch Lake one, I don't think we haven't paid for that. I think somebody else pays for that, right? The garbage at Perch Lake, I thought it was. people
I
doing
know, I'll
it.
have to check.
No, we don't want to touch that because Waste Management's giving us really good price on our trash cans. And they listed as Perch Lake, but they're sitting right.
But it's here.
Okay, yeah,
Gotcha.
so it's
That's
here.
what
So
it
I just wondered why it was there. Okay,
Okay.
You still have to pay for it.
yeah,
But it's very cheap.
okay. Okay, did anything else? I think that's it. For Perch Lake. Thielen Cemetery discussed trap rock.
Oh,
Lord.
so I did reach out to Todd to get a price on what it would cost to haul trap rock in. If you desired, after pulling the weeds, to top dress that with some more trap rock to kind of bring it up a little bit, because it's packed down and shifted around over the years, and you've got places where your landscape fabric is starting to show through. And that $300,000 to $400,000 or $300 to $400 would be only for the material. And it would have to be hand wheelbarrowed and spread around by volunteers or someone else. Todd said that he would have to do the same thing, and he'd have to get he'd rent a littler bobcat or something if he was to do it. But he said that for his crew to do it would probably be twice the cost of the trap rock, just for them to get that in, to move it and get it in place. So I just brought that forward, and it's up to you what you want to do from here.
Could it be a combination that Todd drops off can put a tarp underneath where she drops it off. And if Kyle is still so friendly with his tractor, because he was able to drive on the Trap Rock Trail around with it. So he can have a scoop and then volunteers starts to spread it out. Then you save some labor, it's only the material.
All I'm saying is Todd said that to get the trap rock there and dumped on the ground is $300 to $400.
Yeah,
And once it's in the pile after that, his $300 to $400 does not
To do
cost
the
any
labor.
of the other part.
Okay, so,
so whatever. the town
so
wants to
300
do.
to 400, and what was it for the trap rock?
So it's
did you
like
say?
$800, the whole thing, correct?
Well, it'd be more, it'd be more than that, because he said for Todd's labor would be probably double the cost of the trap rock. So if it's $300 to $400 for trap rock, if Todd had to bring his people in and do it with equipment, you're looking at $600 to $700 at today's price, over and above the cost of your rock.
Okay,
But-
so approximately $1,000.
About
but if we-
$1,000.
If he dropped it off, if he dropped the trap rock off, that would be $300 to $400. It's the
And the
spreading
rock
it
is
out.
sitting there in a pile,
Okay, and it's the spreading it out that would be double that.
extra,
Okay,
and it'd be double the cost of the rock. So the labor is twice the price of the material.
okay.
Yeah.
Got
Just
it.
for
So you said
estimating
around
purposes.
$1,000. Okay, any discussion on that?
It's whatever you want to do, it go ahead or not. That is one of the things can be done this year still.
Well, you don't have the money for.
I'm just looking
Oh,
at it.
no, we don't.
Should have.
No, you, yeah,
No, because-
$1,000 in the budget, you spent $675.
675 plus 140, which I think that was maybe the long.
Yeah.
Or something, I don't know what the 140 was, but then yeah, it was
We
675.
did have 2,000
For
on
Todd
that one
work.
someplace.
So we can put it, we can do the 1,000 for next year or 2,000, so that would include that for budget for next year.
That's fine.
Okay, where's your list? Add for truck, okay. Okay, Highway 35 rest area, guess we already talked about that.
Yeah, and
The
we're not
trees were
doing
removed.
any improvements to that.
Oh, I know, we're just trying to keep it.
We're
down.
trying to just,
Yep.
we're just keeping it mowed down. We are not putting trails in, we're not putting kiosks. The board, when they bought that property, said they were, but at this point in time, there's no development of that property.
Yep.
Is there buckthorn then? I've never been there. Is there buckthorn there?
Yeah,
Oh,
there
yeah,
is.
there's a
There
lot
is.
But that is one of the things that should be removed, right?
Well, they took
Yeah,
down some
and-
big trees 2 years ago. They took down some of the big ones because if you remember, if
You-
you
we
take down the
guys-
ones with the berries on them, that stops a lot of that from
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah, so I think that's kind of what we're doing is keeping
Yeah.
it mowed down, keeping it maintained so you can at least
Yeah,
see it
It's
and
just
that
to
it's
keep
there,
it in
so.
check. There's
Yep.
no planned
Nope.
project
No,
or
we did
public
not have that.
utilization.
No, we just want to be able to walk on it. Okay, National Prairie Day, which is now the Fall Festival. The fire department will have a truck, but they will not have a pancake breakfast. I said discuss any further, any other meetings or discuss signs.
There's
But-
signs in the storage room.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
If I would have realized you were here, I would have asked you if I could see this. But we need to discuss it because so Nina, you're gone. Mark, are you gonna be around the 17th?
You know, I'm not sure. That's a month I'm out a lot. but I
Okay.
don't know yet.
Mary's gone.
Yeah, so it's Pat and I. The big guys cannot, they're 2,000 minimum. I knew that was gonna be that for the food truck. I just don't know. I'm really concerned that we're not, we don't have the hill slide going. I don't want to do a park, a playground dedication or anything one without Nina and,
No, you can.
and I want it more done, I think, before we do something for that. And
So-
so there's been a lot of roadblocks and now you, go ahead, Pat.
Well, I
And
was just gonna say, I did talk to Jan Gavin about talking to the 4-H
Yeah.
kids. And I have not heard back from her. I contacted her and she was supposed to get back to me last week. I haven't heard back yet. I did leave another message for her today. So I'm sure she will. She also is a contact for the church. I've contacted 3 people in the church and have not heard it back from anyone at the church. So their pastor was on leave for quite a while and then he's back and he was at a training this summer because he was actually in active duty. And so then he came back to, went to a training and things. And so they're kind of getting up to speed again. So, you know, our thoughts are, and one of my thoughts was, you know, if we want to do something, we could do something and we can make it more kid oriented and just keep it very simple. But I mean, I can't even find volunteers. I mean, I've like asked
And
everybody
no
I
one has
know.
stuff that they want. to-
Everyone's like, oh, I'm busy or, oh, you know, and I went around and asked people as far as, you know, produce kind of things. And they're like, you know, it's been a really dry year. You know, we don't have a whole lot of extra produce kind of things. I did get actually Mike, who is our volunteer. His wife said they could sell honey. So I did get one person to sell honey. But, you know, one of the things that, you know, could possibly be if we have the fire truck, we could do a playground dedication. We could do like a nature trail kind of treasure hunt for the kids if they go around, you know, and mark off the things that they see, kind of, you know, like when you go to a festival or something, sometimes you have to go
Like a
to every
medallion.
seller and mark it off, but you could mark it off and then they could come back and get some kind of a little prize. You know, we can't get big guys or anything like that, but maybe we just do an ice cream social where we provide a free ice cream cone, you know, something like that, where we just, you know, do something like that. Like I said, I'm waiting to see if we get some animals here. You said you have signs that you want for sale, but
You know, do we do it and just expect no one to be here and then maybe next year more people will come? You know, no
I
one's
think
had
you
any.
do it, but I think you gotta get the word out better than you are. So the signage has to get out next week.
Yeah,
but the thing is, we can't put signage out unless we have people that are like
So let me back you up.
basic.
So let's get the signage out and you tell me, what volunteers do you need? Because Public Works is taking care of their signs. They're gonna have that all manned.
okay.
You have 4-H that you're waiting to hear from. What else do you have manned besides someone to help with parking?
Well,
What else?
we had talked about a historical stuff here, you know, someone doing historical stuff.
But no one's doing that.
Donna Jewel is probably the only one that has tons and tons of pictures and stuff. Donna has COPD. She is not coming out here to do anything. So if we're gonna do something, it's gonna have to be someone, her boys aren't interested. It's gonna have to be someone, you know, that volunteers to do something like that.
And that would be a draw. We need a draw to get people here.
I mean, I think the fire department would be a drop, but you know, having the truck here and stuff, but I'm not sure how many people I can get to sell things to whatever, because I've asked everybody that I run into. You know, and I don't have people's cell phone numbers. I don't have everybody's cell phone numbers. You know, I mean, if you guys have people that you want me to call, give me the numbers and stuff, but
Well, you have the apple farm up here, which is pharmacist at Nicholson's.
What
Is
else?
he still doing that?
Yeah.
It looks so run down and it used to always look so nice.
Well, he's selling, but he's not having you come on site.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I didn't know we ever did.
Oh, yeah.
So here's my question, Teresa. What do you think the goal would be in having the park committee go forward with this? As opposed to taking a step back, don't do it this year and start
Well,
right away so that you have your more pieces.
Well,
And I
we have
say it,
been
and I-
doing it. I mean, we've been doing it for a few months. No one's either.
well, you know,
Got back or-
I keep asking everybody that I run into, you know.
I just look
I
at,
think part of it's just no one's doing stuff.
right, and I was gonna say, I look online and I watch for people that are putting things together for other events, whether it be big ones like Pepperfest and Bolton School Bazaar, trying to think of a couple other ones I've seen. And some of these where they have little vendors, these people have been advertising and promoting their activity and their date
for months going
For a
into
year.
this for the
Starting
public.
the day after the event
And-
is booked, yeah.
And I was gonna say, I think that we need myself to, if you wanna do this, we've had the idea and we kind of cooked it all year long. I think it's gonna be a tough. I think it'd be tough to make this happen in the time frame we have left. And when it's all said and done for anybody that does the work and shows up that day. Are you gonna feel good about your accomplishment at the end of the day when you leave? And would you wanna try it again?
Yeah, that is the risk if nobody
I don't
shows
know.
up and you do all this work.
But exactly,
year,
that's very much how I've been feeling. I mean, without, I mean, like you said, the fire department would be a draw. But there's still, you know, like when it used to be like with the church, then you had all the church people or, you know, there was just so much more.
The fire
Now there's
department
not.
the fire department had a fundraiser last weekend and I don't know if, you know, how excited are those people to do other things
Yeah.
again now?
Well,
Well, they would do
definitely.
the truck, but they don't necessarily want to do another pancake
No.
breakfast.
And I would say that
And if they maybe would have had some more time, although, you know,
food isn't whether they do pancakes or not, there's ways to do food and have it on the ground.
Yeah, well,
And
they
it
told
doesn't
them that.
need
I
to
said
be
you could have
fancy the
lunch.
first time around.
but I wonder how because their turnout was, because that was a 2 week
Not good.
notice.
It wasn't good at all.
It was like 2 weeks and last year I had many people come for that, but you know, 2 weeks wasn't enough. But again, we could meet more with the other committees all along. You know, I wish that
Well,
would
maybe
be done.
then you delay it for a year and you start on it right at the first of the year, start putting out those PR blurbs. That we're having this on this date and we're looking for this, this and this. And start getting it out there on the town's website and the town's Facebook site. And start doing those blurbs every 2 weeks.
And
And
I-
the school,
and I
I think we
say
should get involved with the school because they have all the kids
Yeah.
and then.
And I was encouraged that the school will be starting before then, so we can let them know.
Right.
But still not gonna be much time and people are gonna have stuff, but
And that goes back to too, we have to reach out to whoever the current principal is and have a face-to-face with them and say, hey, we're looking to have this. And can we, you know, what are the possibilities of, you know, what are your ways or how do you post your information that we could use for this public event? Or would the school want to participate in any way? So,
And
What-
we have more than one church in this town.
yeah,
You know, is there any way that one of those churches would like to do some sort of food?
that's what I'm thinking.
Oh, rather than having to pay somebody to come in here and do a food truck, why don't we think about them doing it as part of their fundraiser?
And
Yeah.
that's what
Oh,
I'm.
So the other
And that-
churches having their
I-
big raiser like the week before in September. Have you seen the sign up?
Yeah.
So the Lutheran Church out in Burkhardt, they
Yeah.
have their big fundraiser, like, I think it's the 10th.
It's coming up now, but yeah,
Whatever,
and
yeah.
they've been pushing that for months.
Yeah.
For months. I just
Yeah.
think we haven't been
And I,
out there enough. We
oh,
used to put-
we have it, but I haven't had anything to put out there besides Fall Fest.
But you
Well, and I
understand
think-
what I'm saying is that if you
Oh,
start
I know
talking
what you
about
mean.
it the
I
first
know
of
what
the
you mean.
year, and you say, we're looking for vendors, we're looking for this, we're looking
Yeah.
for that. You start to get that interest coming forward.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, this is what I get for 42 years of my life is
Yes.
plan events. The problem is I have a 94-year-old mother that I take care of,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
When she ends up in the hospital, when she ends up in transitional
Everything
care,
stops.
everything stops.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm making calls while I'm at her
Yeah.
house and everything, but I can't do it by myself,
Right.
you know? That's the whole thing. And two of us
Yeah.
can't do it.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that I'm doing it right now.
yeah, yeah, yes.
And I was
Maybe
gonna
we
say,
ask-
and when those, that's why I said we can't. This just didn't work out this year and I really don't think we should.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna make the suggestion that you don't go forward with it.
right.
I don't wanna kill the idea because I think we need to do it again, but I think,
Yeah,
you know.
I agree. I mean, I'm bummed because I really wanted to do it and wanted to work and we have put work into it. But we can keep working on it. I'd really like more people to get more help.
And
You
we
know,
need to
if
put
it's-
and we need to put that out right away. Hey, we want to have a festival. This is when it's going to be. We're starting to plan it now, open it up to the public because the public bring in the other things. And we could even have a punch list. This is already the things we've discussed and we've got in the queue.
But ask for volunteers to help plan and help manage it. I think is the way to go. And are they having something next door this fall and we're just not on their same date? What's going on?
I don't have anything even on their
I
schedule.
was gonna say, I'm not seeing anything over
I mean,
there.
I don't know what I can do, you know, I've
Yeah.
gone,
Yeah,
I've
you
gone through Patty Long, I've gone through Jan Gavin, I've gone through the pastor. I can't force them to do something,
No.
No.
you know?
And again, if we start putting this out, hey, and kind of
Right.
let all these people know. Who's the third church? I can think of Burkhart and this one and,
The one at the, what was it, the movie theater, and he's still using that?
oh, that's Stillwater Trinity.
Yeah.
That's a possibility. And there's one other one too, but I don't. quite
So
remember.
where's Stillwater? Oh, I haven't seen anything. Have they?
But I haven't
services there or
seen them
anything?
using that this year at all.
And who's using this one over here on Sundays?
Oh.
Faith,
Remember,
Is that what they're doing? House?
oh, the house, no, I'm
No,
trying to think of
No,
what
the house
that,
has
that's.
the house has a church that's using that.
That
Yeah,
is,
the church using that.
Yeah.
I don't know, I've got to think about that, it's my
I've seen
my
the signs.
neighbors are involved
So,
in that.
and I don't know that, I don't think that selling the signs, that be enough of a draw, probably not the public. works
No,
sign.
I don't disagree with you, but I'm just saying, I think the word has to get out, it can't be at making phone calls.
No, I don't think
It
so.
has
yeah.
to be on social media.
We have
Well,
to
the
go
other
back.
thing you have to remember too
And
is we were in the
here's the-
middle of
No, here's the other
staffing
thing.
here, changing over. I mean,
Well,
this-
here's the other thing. We
last
have
summer
two
and this fall
newsletters
was
coming out
crazy.
before this.
who was
Two
working in the
newsletters, yeah.
office?
Yeah, a newsletter would be good.
You know, I mean, it's been a rough year.
It has been,
Yeah.
last summer was hell. and-
It has.
It was.
It has, so,
You know.
okay.
Are we
I mean,
gonna
I
do a
think
fall
things are-
newsletter in spring?
I would say I would recommend to postpone it
Because
until
then
next
they've
year.
got two newsletters to
Start
put
in
this in. Hey,
February.
put this on your calendar.
Yeah, with promoting it, we probably will have,
I'd
this is
start
in the
even
fall, we
tomorrow.
probably will have the playground finished, hopefully, by that time.
Yeah,
And then you have everything together and, but like you say, in February, March, start promoting and maybe ask people what they would like to see.
Yeah.
And I would involve
and
the
in the
school.
meantime, we can see what's happening in this fall and take notes for next
And you
fall.
know, there's nothing wrong with realizing something's not gonna work and not.
I
Yeah.
agree, Mark. Thank you for saying that. That's how I feel.
Yeah, well,
think
and I
that-
feel the same way. I'd way rather cancel it than not cancel it and then just go through all the work and have. You got
That's
5
right.
people
4
show up.
months ago,
Like I talked to Bernice Lentz and I talked to Patty Long, you know, about the church and stuff, and their church is going through changes and
Yeah.
things too, you know, that they're. Everybody's coming off of COVID and stuff, and
Yeah.
so, you know, the expectation to see that they're just gonna pop right up and do this, you know. And like I said, Jan Gavin's excellent at networking and stuff, and, you know,
No, they'll put this out, the 4-H people, the Boy Scouts, all these people, once they have hard cold facts. to
Right.
work
Yeah.
with,
Yeah,
And
yeah,
know what
and they
the
can work,
possibilities are, they're gonna step in there, especially put out their contact this person.
but,
Yeah.
but when you say start February, I think we should start this fall. As they start getting and they're excited about it and stuff, get it on their calendar and say, hey, this is what we want you to help with next year.
okay.
I know that Pepperfest finishes up and their first meeting is the first
Oh,
week of September.
they
yeah.
literally go the next month, yes.
Like
Yep.
2 weeks later, they're on it for the next year.
I don't
Okay.
think we should do anything till we pass our outdoor rec plan.
Yeah, well, exactly.
All right, I'll pull up what's already-
So do we need a
Okay.
motion or do you want to make,
You should have a motion, different
Yeah.
motion in the second
Okay.
paragraph.
I'll make a motion that we postpone the fall festival until next fall of 23.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
I,
Opposed? Okay, that carries. Yeah, who's gonna, is she gonna cancel it? Okay,
Tap grant.
and then Lori, you do the Facebook? Should we come up with something, or do you want to just put something out there, or do you want to say, you know, that we're gonna, I don't know, plan for it for next year, and then we'll get something more specific, maybe next month?
Why don't next month, you guys will figure out what we're gonna.
Okay, and then you can do it then. Okay, perfect.
And then I can just put a blurb up there that, hey, folks, put this on coming in fall of 2023.
And put the date and
But we gotta
everything.
make sure that if we
Well-
start putting that out to the public arena, that we're ready to rock.
Can we say September 23? I don't want to do a date yet, because I kind of want to see what, I want to see how things shake out here this year. You know, like what if the 10th, everybody's gonna go somewhere else, or is it the 10th a good time to do it when the church is doing theirs and everybody's kind
How
of doing
about we
stuff?
just put late summer, early fall, we will be doing blah, 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 so.
Yeah.
wanna set
Yeah.
on a kind of thing.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, just
If
say
that
early
gets-
fall because it's late summer, everybody's taking vacations. getting
Yeah,
ready for
we'll do
school.
early fall. That's fine.
Early fall, and we'll do that next
Yep.
month, and we'll see if we get anybody that chimes in on the polls.
Okay. Okay, sounds good. Did I do all in favor?
Yep.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, thank you.
Pat's trying to sleep better tonight.
I know.
Well, it's like, I don't want to do something unless we do it well.
Yeah, well, I
You know, That's
agree.
the whole.
I
That's
agree.
the whole thing.
And that's why I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. I feel good too. I think a knot in my neck just went away.
Tap grant.
Okay, discuss TAP grant award. We'll just talk the TAP grant award. So we were awarded the TAP grant. We got a letter from the Stantec. Should I read that also? Teresa, or I got a letter from the engineer from Stantec, and it says that the town of St. Joseph was notified by WisDOT that they've been awarded the TAP grant in amount of $520,583.20 for the multimodal trail expansion project. Let's see, we know that. The grant award amount was for the maximum allowable in accordance with the grant requirements. The grant maximum was up to 80% of eligible costs, whereas the applicant was responsible for the remainder. And then there's, it shows the table below. And then it says shortly after receiving notice of the grant, the town received an email from the WisDOT local program manager. The email recognized the current volatility of the market as well as inflationary price increases and requested that award recipients review their cost estimates to make sure they can successfully complete their projects with the funds requested, as there is no option to request additional funding on TAP grants. They indicated that there will be an additional TAP solicitation next summer and potentially a supplemental solicitation for communities with populations under 5,000 this fall. In regard to the timing of the project and grant funding, construction of the proposed improvements must commence within 4 years from the date of project award. The sunset date by which all work must be completed is June 30th, 2029. In response to this email and at the direction of the town board, Stantec will review all estimated costs for this project and will provide an update and recommendation to the board at their meeting on September 8th. So Stantec is already going to look into the costs from what they look just to the costs. And like it said, we'll be updating that to the board.
So the cost of the project was $657,209, not counting land. So 80% of that was $520,583.20, which is what we got awarded. That's 80% of the cost of the project. Our portion, including the acquisition of land, will be $203,145.80. So that's $203,000. They're gonna look at these costs to make sure they're on task. And obviously, we probably will not go to bid for this next year because we have to acquire the real estate before you can go to bid.
Okay,
So this is not gonna go to bid in 23. That's not happening.
okay,
Because you have, it's just like we did this year on the Church Street project. We're acquiring right away on Peterson. We had to get that done before we can go to bid.
okay, but we
So-
can get that done in 23?
Possibly, it depends on how much money you're gonna put in your budget for this, because this is $200,000, of which at least 100 of that is for land acquisition, and we'll have to see if that'll be enough.
So that would,
Where does engineering come in? Over and above? this?
That's included. The engineering's in here. Yeah, all this engineering is, he's got the numbers in here,
so we'd want to budget $100,000.
minimum.
So we'd go 100,000 the next 2 years, right?
No, well. Let me back up. Kind of. Because you don't know where the bid's gonna come in, so you need at least 100 grand for possibly next year to acquire. And then if you want to go to bid in 24, you're gonna need another 105 or whatever. Now, they're gonna rework these numbers and go back for that supplemental this fall if we need it. But they will not pay for acquisition.
Okay,
So those land costs are on us
Yeah.
plus the 20%.
Unless we can find another grant to help on the 20
and I was just gonna ask
and
that.
later grants.
Right,
Yeah.
and they are looking at that also.
Who is?
Stan Tech.
Okay, can we too? I mean,
Go ahead.
If you
Absolutely.
find them, you can push it
All
forward.
right,
and say,
push them to
check-
Stan Tech.
Check and see, check on this, see if it works.
okay. And can we also use impact fees for any of this?
Oh.
Well, I think
Yes.
we can. I think we,
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we bet them in roles.
Right, that's what they're working on, the impact
yeah.
fees. So yes, you
And Lee
can.
had said that couple months.
But
ago.
remember this, and I'm just gonna caution you all, is that if you do this project and that project, how much impact fees you're gonna have in the bank to do both of them?
Yeah.
And if we don't borrow money, whatever you spend is what you have on that date. You understand that? So if you borrow money to do a project, you can pay the impact fees against it as for the length of the loan. I don't know that the board's gonna wanna borrow money for this,
Oh, no.
or just let it go, which, so you have whatever you have in the impact fee account and whatever you're gonna collect for the next 2 or 3 years.
Yep.
Because we can collect for however long it takes us to complete.
Okay,
So it comes down to slide or this.
And as Lee said, you
Well-
have till 29 to get this done.
Yeah,
So you want to push it
exactly.
out 2 years. Which means it's 3 years.
We know if there's another opportunity that we can grab onto in the fall, that would make sense. But this is a very cheap proposal to us if we spend 200,000 compared to the money, the grant proposals we've had the last 3 times.
Right.
We were $1 million over one time, we were 780,000 another time. All those put us at 150 to 175,000 of our own money, and we never got anywhere. Now, all of a sudden, we've got a taste of what we could do. I'm not saying that this is exactly what we should do, because something else might come up better, but we should sure keep on this one.
well, yeah, because when you say put it out, well, as we know, everything gets put out no matter what, even if you don't want it to. So you just add that on.
Right.
you
But I'm
know,
saying to
so-
you is that because of you're collecting impact fees, if you decide to go get this slide done in January for bid or February for bid, you can use impact fees to that. Do you delay this for 2 years to use impact fees for that?
Mhm.
Or, because you have till 29 to complete.
Yeah,
So that means you gotta have shovels in the ground, probably 27, 28 at the absolute latest.
Because when we look
But
at
on
our,
the other hand, if you
Yeah.
can find other grants,
Right.
you want to make sure your impact fees is your skin in the game.
yeah,
That's our money.
That's that is
Yeah.
the down and dirty, that impact money is the part thing, and like I said, it's you're the only ones that can use it.
And so we're looking at impact fees for improvement of trails, but that's not gonna get done much before the first of the year. So we're not collecting right now on public works side for trails. You can use parks for that, but we're not collecting on public works for trails right now.
okay. Okay, so we have to, so I mean, if we try to budget accordingly to some every year for the next 3 years or even
Yeah.
4 years, but
Yeah, basically you can put in there that you budget, you didn't use it, and next year you say, well, instead of wanting 100,000, now I want 140,000 and.
It's up to you
work
guys to
towards the
figure the timing.
project. You gotta figure it out.
You gotta figure the timing out. You can't bite off everything at the same time.
No, I think we've got a big opportunity in front of us, whether or not we take this project at this time, or whether we take it at a different time, we're going down the right road, looking at what we can do.
Yep.
6 years ago, we were gonna go down Anderson Scout Camp Road. And we had to take the trees out on both sides. And I think that alone was a $350,000 project, you know. I think right now we've got an opportunity to keep looking at this and possibly get somewhere with it, so. But yeah, we should,
Okay,
Janet, we should follow what Stan Tech, whatever they come out with, figure out, move things around.
Yep.
Budget,
yep, I have, okay, and I'll do some grant, I know someone who can do some
and we
grant.
do have that slide
digging
money
for
we
me.
can use too.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Don't
Okay,
go there.
yes, okay, discuss park management plan, we'll table that. Outdoor rec plan and set up a special meeting if we need to. I'm trying hard not to. I'm waiting for your, I've started a list of any corrections or anything that you want added to the
Didn't you say,
outdoor rec plan.
didn't you say we should have a special meeting for that?
Well,
Over that and-
We can, but I want to have all this done first, so all we do is just go over
Okay.
it. I don't want, it'll take, as we all know, that will take days, so.
Yeah.
If you have time to just go over it and write down things that you see, like I saw a few things. One thing I'd really like to maybe see is better pictures now, just being out at the preserve and how nice it looks. It looks nicer now than our pictures
Yeah.
did then.
Today was not the same thing the day we went.
Oh, really? It wasn't as
Yeah,
nice?
No, it has changed a lot. It changes every.
Oh,
year.
Oh, man, it was just so beautiful. So anyway,
But where do you
but-
need more pictures?
I don't know, just look, you look at it, see what you think.
Okay,
And then just write down things. I have I have a list and Terry will give me anything that you guys have and then we'll do a special meeting and just go over it. But I was hoping Mary would show me how to correct the PDF, but maybe my daughter could tell me this weekend. Because
Well,
Sarah gave it in a PDF. I have to copy hers and then make the correction.
all you have to do is ask Terry to do that. She can convert it.
Okay. well,
Yeah. She has a PDF converter in there. Just ask her to convert it.
Okay,
over to
well,
Word for
okay,
you.
okay, maybe I'll do that. And then I'll make the corrections in red. There's some things that they've already put in there and then just, things that people.
Are you gonna clean that up and get some of that verbiage out of there? Cause we talked about that a while back about some of that stuff has to do with national and state.
Yep, I have what you asked me
Oh,
to do.
okay, cause there's a lot of.
You
stuff in
started
there.
my list. I added to it. Thank you.
That in a Word document, how does everybody? submit?
Well, it'll go into Google Docs. It'll
Just-
go into Google Docs.
No, I sent out the email and you send it to Terry and she's gonna keep the list and then let me know.
Isn't that a lot of work for Terry?
No. I
No,
talked
so
to
now
her.
let's back up. If Terry converts the PDF to Google Doc. If
Yeah.
Terry converts it to a Google Doc. Then anyone can comment, which is what I commented on. It was in Google Docs.
No, you sent me an email.
Oh, I
That,
sent you
that
an
was
email.
before, yeah, this is
Ah,
the
okay.
final
right.
version that
Gotcha.
Stantec has in their PDF.
So we'll have her convert it to a Google Doc. So
If
can
you,
put
if
those
you
comments.
want, I don't know that we need to do that, because there's not that much.
There's not
I
that
mean, there
much.
shouldn't be, I think you're gonna have the most, and Lori, you might have a few. I don't think it'll be that much. I don't think we need to do that.
And then we can delete some of that stuff that. You know, just adopt the other plans by
Yeah,
reference,
by
and then we don't
reference and
need,
not
we
have
don't
all
need
that
to
in there.
restate it.
That's correct.
Even
That's
the
all.
new one has that, the latest one? Okay, well, just.
We'll talk about it.
Okay, so, so I'll set up a separate meeting there again. I was gonna wait and see on the fall festival if we were gonna do that. It's like, well, it's gonna be after that then. But now we don't have anything on this. Well, we do have some stuff on the slide. But we should be able to get this done now, so. So if you can go through it. Let's see, and then I'll set up that. So I think that's it. Discuss need for new members, if you know anybody. Committee or subcommittee recommendation.
Yeah,
Anything
we
else?
do the fall newsletter, put in there
I
again,
was gonna ask you that. When is the fall? I didn't know that.
do a plea for new members.
Well, when is the fall newsletter? I don't have that on my,
It probably won't be out till October.
but you're working on it?
That still could be put on.
Are you working on it? Should I be submitting an
Submit
article?
something to me, yeah.
Either that or just start your fall newsletter, basic thing, and you can just keep adding on to it till you're told to send it in.
Okay, oh, that's not, my to-do list is here.
If anybody else has any other ideas on things we could put in there.
Okay, I'll let Zach know about the, not doing the fall festival. Cause I'll ask him about
And I'll talk,
that,
I'll get a hold of Jan too and see in the church.
okay. And I would say Big Guys wasn't completely against it. If I had more idea of how many people, they maybe would have done something different, you know, maybe,
Probably timing.
you know, but again, I kind of like the idea of someone doing it for a fundraiser. You know, doing food for a
Yes.
fundraiser or something like that.
Me too.
Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion to adjourn.
I will second them.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay, carries. Thank you. I won't be able to go to the